I'm still dancing to the music. Welcome to the Rev Mel Show on TSRnetwork.com, where real people talk about real sex with really kinky people. And tonight, send out to all your friends that I am drinking. And if you don't want to believe it, I am drinking Kahlua. Oh, that's product placement. Oh, what the fuck? It doesn't matter. But I have, do I have any announcements to make? Yeah, I do. I have to tell you, everybody, that I went to Threshold. Our friend Fauna, she died, and I was heartbroken by it. And so I want to read you. What happened is that you know, they made announcements and they made it, you know, welcome and so forth and so on. Then they had the board members come up, and then she started the Dom Scouts, and she was very, very creative and absolutely wonderful. So then they invited people to come up and talk, and I came up, and I want to read you guys my eulogy to her. Ready? To Fauna, you will be missed. To Fauna, friends and family, I reach out and send you much love, and at this loss of this amazing, talented woman that we all adored. We mourn the loss of someone that was so unique and special that she won the hearts of all of us in this room. If you met her once, you would remember her as she would have touched your life in ways you did not expect. Look around the room and see how many people she touched with her humor, talent, kindness, and love. Today, we have not come here to mourn her, but we have come here to celebrate her short-lived life. What would Fauna want? I visualize her here with all of us as her eyes sparkle and the huge smile on her beautiful face of wonderment. We all know that expression that we have all come to love. Her face would come to life as she freely showed her true, authentic self to all of us without fear. She was born to be an entertainer with her music ability and most of all, her sweet voice as she sang. She would want us to remember her with love, joy, and most of all, happiness. Fauna could light up a room when she entered with her commanding presence. She was a huge part of Threshold and will never be forgotten as she made a difference in our community and to all the people that have known her. Fauna would want us to smile, share the stories of the fun and funny moments that we all shared with her. I will never forget the video that her and Count Boogie were in. Kinky BDSM dominance playing cards. It's on YouTube, and it was an amazing video. I was rolling on the floor in laughter so hard that it made me cry. It was genius, I thought, and I thought of it that day, and it made me smile. That Fauna, this is what Fauna did, was to make you smile. Unless you were on the other side of the paddle, and then she would make you cry out in pain. Fauna was fearless in this world, and no matter what was going on in her life, she would just show up for life and take it like a Girl Scout with honor. Fauna's creativity touched so many of us as her mind opened up to this life choice of BDSM with so much gusto. Threshold was her home, and she gave back to our community and all that she touched. She was an angel for so many wandering through these doors of BDSM enlightenment. Today I rejoice her, and I ponder what would our lives have been if her personal ray of sunshine did not touch us in some way. I look around the room and I see all of the people that each of you carry her bright light of knowing her. She not only touched our hearts, but she touched our souls. What can be taken from this? Cherish your loved ones. Laugh more. Love more. And kindness will make you smile as it did to Fauna. Friendship matters, and to have honor as we only have a short time on this earth, as we never know what tomorrow is going to bring. This is what I learned from Fauna. I learned so many valuable lessons of life through her death. Fauna, you touched so many and you will always be remembered and bringing such joy to our lives. To me, you will always be the Lady of Light, as you have shined so bright in so many places of our lives and heart. Your smile will be missed, my dear friend, and may you rest in peace. So I did that because I really felt that when we're into BDSM and we are in our play scene, we're in our little communities, and we're playing and we're playing, and we never know if we're doing anything at all that is making a difference. And the reason why I brought this up is because my guest today, my wonderful guest, my friend, I am proud to call her my friend. She has made a difference. She's made a difference in my life, and she's made a difference in so many other people's lives. She's an amazing woman with an amazing vision that took something from nothing and created an extraordinary community of her own. People that are following her all over the world, as she is renowned and known in so many different communities, as she's able to blend all of the different fetishes and all the different communities together because of what she has done. And she has taken a risk, and she's taken it not because she wants to be known, not because the ego floated her to do this, because I really firmly believe that my next guest, or my guest, is a real, true spiritual being. She was part of my Church of Perversion and Debauchery group, and she really mattered. She really meant a lot to us, and she was one of the founding groups that was with us. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you to subMissAnn. I did it, subMissAnn. That was so funny. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey. How are you?
I am excellent this evening. It's so great to be here. I still fondly remember the Church of Debauchery and our little group. It made a difference for me. That was a changing time. You know, people's lives go up and down. They're in cycles. And that took me through a period of my life when I was regrouping and shot me forth out of the cannon. You know, that was the time that I started doing porn at 50.
Story of, let me share with you in the audience. And if you're watching the show, there are people that are watching the show. Please come into the chat room. Come in and I'll take your questions in the chat room. And I am going to be getting a Twitter feed onto TSR Network too, so I'm able to follow that, because I understand last week we had a lot of Twitter feeds that I wasn't aware of. So I've got to go back over it today, and I was told yesterday that there was some Twitter stuff going on. So I got to follow that too when we do the shows, because people were making statements, and it would be nice to be able to say the statements at live. If you're watching the show, please send this link out to your friends. If you're into pony play, or if you're just into something really kinky, something pleasant, please turn them on. So the story that I'm going to tell you, and I've told this story repeatedly, I think subMissAnn, I'm just going to call her Ann, subAnn.
Yeah, call me Ann.
subAnn.
Just Ann. Ann. My name is Ann. You know, so yeah.
But I'm going to share with my daughter came to a COPAD meeting, and it was her very first time, and we're sitting in the circle with the talking stick, and this is when Ann discovered that she could be a porn fetish model and actress. And she announced it to the group, and my daughter's face was very, very vanilla, went, and she still, this is what she does, because we all know that my daughter does not approve of what I do. I mean, we all have that. Here I have all these shows for the last 12 years, and my daughter's still doing this to me. Those people, those people. But so to this day, I'll talk, if I say anything about the Church of Perversion of debauchery called COPAD, she'll go, oh, that lady that got into porn, that lady.
No, that lady. That was after 18 years of being the premier children's party planner in LA. You know, that was my job before. While I was raising my children, I was the head. My company was called Merrymaking, children's parties from possibility to reality, and I played with 500 to 2,000 children a week for 18 years.
Oh my God.
And there came this time when I was like done. I just was done. I was done. I wanted to do something else. I didn't know exactly what to do. And I know it's a bit of an extreme thing, but I guess I wanted to play in adult things. And so, and I had explored BDSM very privately for several years when I, had my children were off with their dad or I wasn't working. It was very, very quiet. And then all of a sudden I had this time when I closed down my business, my children were all grown, and I just made other decisions, other things that I wanted to go investigate. I wanted to go investigate what it was to be authentic and open about BDSM and the alternative things that I liked. I became a fetish model. I did porn. I just branched out in other ways that I had subdued myself and subdued my life. So that was, I think, back in 2006. So we're talking 7 years since then, and things have gone like really, really well for me. I was able to do photography with some of the very, very best photographers, Craig Moray, Ken Marcus, Perry Gallagher, and that was the thing too, is that I didn't realize that all my first years of being a model is like I got shot by the very, very best in the world, and then you get a job with someone else and you're looking at your pictures and you're trying to figure out like what happened here. And it's because they're so good and the lighting's perfect and the color's perfect and they make you look great, So modeling was great. I loved doing porn. Oh my God, it was like a walk through the park. The guys were so nice, Mel. They would come in and they would say, "Hi, Robin Pacino." That was my name, Robin Pacino, because
Who picked that name?
I picked that name because my agent who had been my bartender for the adult parties while I was doing children's parties. Sometimes I would be hired to do adult things. So he was my bartender, and he became my agent when I did porn. Now, I didn't directly ask him. I actually replied to Craigslist. I went on Craigslist and I replied to one of those ads that, would you like to do adult entertainment? And I, replied to the ad and I sent some photos, and this gentleman by another name that I had never heard, Matt Matthews, oh, you look good. This is a good look. I think, I can really work with you, but I don't know if you're going to be successful or not. So do you have a day job?
Wait, his name, Miss Ann? His
Yeah.
name Matt Matthews?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think so.
He agreed at me. And so he goes, do you have a day job? Do you have something else, in case this doesn't work for you? I go, yeah, and I'm thinking of what to say. So I'm like, well, I'm a clown. And all of a sudden, on the phone, you hear this, oh my God, I know who you are. And I'm looking at the phone, and it's like, oh, just shoot me now. I just want to know. And so that's how I found out that, my agent was someone I employed. He was my bartender. And we had the best relationship because he knew me. He only sent me to the best gigs where, I got paid well. It was all up and up. It was a nice experience. Like I said, and how I got my name was that I was in his office and he had the TV on and the TV guide was going through. This is like appropriate. So on the TV guide was a Robin Williams, who died today, unfortunately. You know, all of our talent gone. So Robin Williams and Al Pacino did a movie together. And I was like, great, I'll be Robin Pacino. Because I had already used Buffy Parks for a vampire film, and I didn't want to be known as Buffy Parks. Yeah, poor. That name was not working for me. So yeah, Robin Pacino.
Buffy does not seem to work for you.
No, I'm not a Buffy, you know.
Not a Barbie.
I'm not a Barbie.
Not a Susan,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So these really hot young guys. You know, oh my God, you know, think about this. So I'm 50. I'm 50 plus. These young guys that are 18 to 27 with hot bods are now going to come in and they're like, oh, Robin, we're like so excited to do this thing with you. They've got these ripped dads. They're really cute. They've got a hard cock. And we're going to shoot a porn and have hot sex. And they're super sweet to me, super, you know, we have like the best time. And I'm very much, you know, a business person. You get paid to do porn by the sex, you know, like 800 for a vaginal porn, 1,000 for an anal porn, whatever it is, there's like a set number. So I want to spend the least amount of time so I get paid more per hour, right?
Yes.
Right. You know, when you're on salary, you don't want to work long hours. That's not working for me. So I would always like go there, and I would make sure that they felt great, so that we would just bang out, no pun intended, you know, this porn, and have a great time. I had the best time. My favorites, there were 3 favorites. There was this little guy. He's supposed to be my son's friend, and my son is at some sci-fi convention, and so I like seduce my son's best friend in not only into doing his, you know, best friend's mom, but also into fetish and kink. Oh, and this guy, he's like, all of a sudden he's taking my foot and rubbing it in his armpit. He's like, is this a fetish? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's several fetishes all wrapped up in one. But yeah, who has, you know, experiences like that? It was like so great. Charlie Mack was another great one. It's called the Gardner video. Almost everyone I've ever known, and the Gardner video. You know, Charlie Mack was great, and the last one that I really liked was a guy called Chris Cannon.
Oh, I know Chris Cannon.
Yeah, and that was a really fun one because there were like 8 other women there, and ours was like the last vignette. But and it was so hot. I was dressed in latex, and he like hosed me down with the garden hose. You know, that was the thing, is that a lot of these porn guys, I was like their introduction to BDSM, you know, and we would do the most outrageous stuff. I would just get them to play, and it was really, really great. And I think that that's what I love about BDSM, is that whether you've like never ever done it, if you just get yourself open to being there and playing. Here's this hot chick in a rubber dress, and I'm going to grab a garden hose and spray her down.
I mean, you were so excited about it when you would come to COPED, and you were like full of life. I mean, I know that you went through a hard time before you came into COPED. I know that there was, you know, some, you know, relationship things, and you were healing, tremendous amount of healing. And to watch what you have accomplished in how many years has it been?
7, yeah. It's not very long, actually. You know, it's a cycle. 7 years, yeah, absolutely. It's been a great cycle. So yeah, doing that and then getting more into pony play.
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I uh, I did a model shoot, basically. And the pictures are in Equus Eroticus. It was with Ken Marcus. So I did this model shoot, but he told me to put together my pony gear. And in putting together the stuff, the gear, the tack for that shoot, that's how I got really interested in pony play, because it became very apparent that pony play was more than just a model putting on stuff. That there was depth there and something there that just really spoke to me. And so I drove to San Francisco to Stampede because that was the closest group and the only group. I got turned down by Yahoo groups. There are Yahoo, you know, pony play groups out there. You should be ashamed that you don't. And, you know, they were not very open at the time. They should. I can understand wanting people to be vetted and to be vouched for, but there should be some way that someone who's interested in it can get vouched for without just being told to go away. Anyway, I found Stampede, and at Stampede I found Rebecca Wilcox. Rebecca Wilcox is, she's the author of The Human Pony.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a book that's in almost everyone's BDSM library and fetish library. It's a great book. And then through my years of experience, I wrote, hers is like a be human pony, and mine's like a do human pony kind of book. So yeah, that was really great. And I love how pony play's grown. You know, one of the things, my latest projects has been our history. How do you document history? You know, other than currently, like I know some people who've been involved. We had the Equus Eroticus magazines. But the only way that you really can document history, you can do it through media. You know, what media do you have? What movies? What TV shows? What magazines? What pictures? You know, how far back can you find pictures? Literature. What literature? How far back can you find literature? Art, cultures. The nice thing about pony play is that I always tell people pony play is any time that a human emulates a horse.
Yes.
And so if that's true, humanity since its beginning has partaken in pony play because we know the primitive cultures through their art, their dance, their religion, their celebrations emulated animals. Animal role play has been around like for forever, since our beginning as a race. So our history is long, very long.
When you were a child, did you ever play pony play? We played pony play. We had the ponies, and we had the people that rode them. And I was always called, I always wanted to be the pretty lady. I'm the pretty,
So
pretty lady. I never was the horsey, never wanted to be the horsey, but I wanted to be the pretty lady that you know, led the horsey around. So do you find that, I mean, this is just an extension of our childhood?
For me, yes, because pony play is something that children do. It is one of the natural plays that you do. My grandchildren do it. I was a pony. The only riding I did was that I had one of those, it was a spring-loaded pony that you rocked on, you know, and my morning I would, like, you know, race down for Rin Tin Tin, Roy Rogers, Sky King, because I wanted, yeah, the cowboys, the ponies, the all of that. And so, yeah, that was part of it. As part of playing cowboy, paying ponies, you know, that you had someone to rein. And no, I was a pony.
Well, did you ever get, I mean, Christmas was always a big time for extra things from families. Because, you know, growing up in the 50s and the 60s, you know, things were a little different. We didn't have storage places to store things because we really didn't have that much. It's really amazing to see the houses that were built in the 50s than the houses that are built now for storing things. But I remember getting a hat, a cowboy hat, and a horsey on a stick. I mean, and I loved it. And you run around the house going, bee, bang, bang, bang. I mean, this is what we did as kids.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I have a picture of me with my Dale Evans outfit. So I had the hat, the little vest with the fringe, and the skirt, and the, you know, guns. And in the back, you can see the aluminum Christmas tree. My grandmother had an aluminum Christmas tree with blue bulbs. Little white lights. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that. I'm just.
Not only that, but they had dad saddles.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, they weren't as uppity about stuff when we were kids.
And do you remember that? Yeah, do you remember the little pillows that had horses on them, and you could sit on them to watch TV?
Right, right. You could do that. Yeah, absolutely. And oh my gosh, and rope. It wasn't so hard to get rope from your parents either. No. Like tying each other up was totally legit.
Well, I remember when we were in grade school that some kids took some kids out into because we lived in an area that had a lot of woods. There's no woods there anymore, but we had, you know, a huge wooded area, and we didn't go into the wooded area because of the kids that took the kids out there and tied them up in rope and tied them to trees. And now that I look at it, I was like, wow. I mean, it probably really excited me as a child. It was, I mean, we did these things as kids.
Oh, yeah, but not only that, but then also if you were into horses, I remember a group of girls that we did jumping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we did high jumping. So yeah. I think that it's extended as an adult. Not only that, but this time around you, as with all adult costuming, you have more quarters and you have more skills to put together, you know, your outfit. I love that adults today, whether they're into sci-fi or, and the whole brony, My Little Pony.
Mm-hmm.
It's big. It's huge. It's so great. And that's the other thing, too, is pony play. Pony play is a great bridge for people that do not know anything about BDSM and people that are really into BDSM. Ponies and pony play is a great bridge. Pride parades, different parades, you can go out and be, you know, we do them, I do them as ponies. You know, we pull our carts or we have the puppies pull sleds and everybody, you know, it's like there's thousands of people along the street for this pride parade. And
okay, I'm booking you for the next, because I won't be going to Desire, so I'm booking you to be on one of your carts because you asked me once before and I was in Desire. I'm booking you now. Now. I'm booking.
Next year, I want to, our club. So in LA, I have the LA Pony and Critter Club, which is something I really liked. One of the things looking at history and reading the Equus Eroticus magazines that I got was pony play. It seemed like there would be like pony play in the 80s in South Africa because Jeff Gord was there and a group of people were there, and so pony play blossomed there. And then there was Latrice, Mistress Latrice in North England, and she had a farm, and she was doing pony play around 2000, and it blossomed there. And then there was Gwen, and so it was like one person. But after 5 years or so, this one person, like, life went on or something happened, and it crumbled. And one of the things I've been working on is having pony play not be one person's passion, but getting a community, getting a club, so that it isn't just one person pushing it, but it's a group of people, so that it has more life and more networking and more foundation. So in LA, we have the LA Pony and Critter Club. Throughout the United States now, you've got a pony club in Chicago, you've got a pony club in Indianapolis, you've got a pony club in Atlanta, really, really thriving and exciting pony club in Houston. In other words, now we've gone to having groups of people that are doing activities and doing play dates and doing events, like, all over. It's so exciting. I forgot, there's a couple things I wanted to go back to. One is, in doing history, Roy Rogers. Remember how I said I like ran down to watch the Roy Rogers show? Yes. I have pictures of Roy Rogers. Now, not only did he have pony girls in one of his films in the last 3 minutes on stage, it's a film in which there's like a show, and he's singing, and all of a sudden pony girls come out on stage in the movie. I got a picture of him. He's bridled up Jerry Lewis.
Oh.
And yeah, he's riding Jerry Lewis in the back lot. You never know. You just never know.
You don't know. I was hooked on Shirley Temple as a child. I would watch Shirley Temple, and I would go in the living room, the kitchen, during the commercial breaks. There's always commercial breaks, and right. I would dance. Always tap dancing in the kitchen.
Oh my God, you had to be precious.
Oh, it was. I was, go, whoo, it's that sort of thing. I loved Shirley Temple. I wanted to be Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was my idol, and she turned out to be a pretty cool woman in her adult life, and she gave up the career of acting, and she became an ambassador.
Right, an ambassador.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so troubled about Robin Williams, because he was a Michigan guy.
Oh, are you from Michigan?
Yeah, I think he was from Farmington Hills in Michigan. So, he was. I was very proud of him that he accomplished what. And also the woman that he did, Mork and Mindy, she was also from Michigan. So I was. Oh. Pardon?
I was talking with a friend today that Belushi, Caddy, Robin Williams, very funny guys, made everyone else laugh, and yet personal joy in their life seemed to be missing. I think it's so important to find your passion and live authentically so that you can experience your joy and share your joy. That's a fundamental important thing.
Yeah. I've been honest. I suffer from depression. I isolate myself. I've always been an isolator. Even as a child, I was an isolator. I could spend 30 days by myself and be okay, and not leave the house, not go out in the sunshine, not go for a walk, and I do my little creative things. I know, and it's, wow. And, most people, and that's when I do a lot of my creativity. But also, there are times that I am severely depressed, and I didn't realize how depression can really affect your life until that moment that I lost the studio. And when I lost the studio, the world came tumbling down. I can't express to you what that 3.5 years was like. That I cannot express to anybody what it felt like to be sinking. So when I think of Robin Williams dying today and having depressions, you know, it breaks my heart because I know how your mind can play tricks on you and how psychologically you can be so in this mood that all you want to do is end it. And you'll do anything to end it, and there's no way to see any clarity. I mean,
Not when if you give up, though.
What?
You have to keep trying and you have to keep going. And it's important to have friends that are there to listen and to help you see more than the little spaces that you sometimes people can go into.
But what happens to people when they get like that? And I can only identify with myself. And you know, you can have friends that surround you, but when you are in that deep, dark space, your first thing is not to reach out. Your first thing is not to let your friends know, not to burden them with your problems because you're a loser. You know, it gets so twisted in your mind, and you end up isolating yourself more and not letting anybody know. When I came out of all this and when the people that I knew found out about what I went through, they were shocked. They go, "Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you tell me?" And I couldn't. I could not reach out to anybody. And that's one of the reasons why when I go through your profile and I see your photographs of your pony play and you're having so much fun and you're just, you know, when I ran into you at Emsel, I gotta tell people this. When she graced the stage at Emsel, she brought not only beauty but class to an amazing event. She brought something, this sparkle on the stage, and she was melting my heart because also I know where she's been, I know how hard she's worked, and I think that she deserves every single title that she goes out after because she's earned her right. She was amazing. She did an amazing performance. She did amazing to watch.
It was really, really great. It was an amazing opportunity. So many times, even at Folsom Fair, where we have a pony parade, an animal parade twice during the fair. While I'm a pony, you know, you still hear things, and I will hear conversations such as, "Oh, look at the ponies, they're so beautiful. I just don't get this. But they're so beautiful." And this is my own community. This is my own leather community, and this is what they say. And so many times I will do presentations at fetish events or kink events or BDSM events, but I can't get a pony play presentation into a leather event. I get told that I don't fit their vision. That's what right back to me. And so I looked at this opportunity, and I felt, number one, that, you know, I'm a submissive, I'm a leather woman, and I have a skill and an expertise in pony play. But it was a tremendous opportunity to stand up there. That's the other thing about giving a class at an event. How many people do you get? Even if my room is jam-packed, I maybe have 50 people. I had 700 leather women as a captive audience in which I got to give a speech to about what is leather about pony play. And I had 700 leather women, and this is like the creme of the crop. These are the go-doers. These are the, and they were going to go out across the nation, you know, after this, where I got to do a performance, and I really, really thought about my performance. It wasn't just pretty to watch. It was about the relationship between the pony and the trainer, and done in a way that you could watch it and really get that. And it was pretty and nice to watch, you know. It had all of those things. And I had two fabulous ponies that I've trained. Ebony, Midnight, and Ginger were there. And so, yeah, we got to do our performance in front of 700 leather women. And if nothing else, if I got nothing else, and I did, I got so much more. I got all, my Emsel sisters are incredible. To this day, we have our own little private Facebook gathering page that we talk to each other still. Many, many things I got out of doing it. But if nothing else, I got to share pony play with 700 leather women in a way that they could get what it was about, and in a way which so many of them have come up and said, oh my God, I never understood, and I totally got your relationship. I totally got what you were trying, you know, it was impactful, it was meaningful to me, it made a difference. So for nothing else, the whole entire weekend was worth it. Absolutely worth it. Just for that little tiny bit, and I got so much more.
I loved going to Emsel because I love, you know, talking to, you know, other like-minded people and some very powerful women. There are some very extraordinary women that were there. And I liked it because nobody knew me. I got to be an observer. I got to be a nobody, which was absolutely fabulous. It was so wonderful. It brought so much joy into my life. Because, you know, I know you and you know me. We've never gotten into this because of our ego. We've always gotten this into it because of the things that we love to do. We do it from our heart and soul. You've done pony play and you've built a nothing community into something. I mean, you've got to be, you know, honored for that. I see it. And you know what? Going to Fonda's funeral, this is going to...
I didn't do it to be honored. I did it because I wanted other people to play with. It was very selfish.
You suck!
I really love it. I just do. It's something that speaks to me, and the more that I've also been very honored in that I've had ponies who were really willing to work and spend the time, so it wasn't just frolicking, but we could really dig into the disciplines and find out what was there and the real meat and stuff that we could get into. Veterinary play. Oh my God. Mel, I have done veterinary scenes where here I am, I've got this beautiful pony, and she's letting me like do all of these things, and it's like this, and this is where I've experienced the Dom rush. The first time the Dom rush like just came over me, I was high for days. Thank God it was like my first class, you know, and I was going to be a trainer the entire weekend because I was like, whoa, yeah, it was great. It was like great. You know, but going back to Emsel, the opportunity to meet just, you know, women I have read about, women that are our history, women that, man, they just blow the socks off you when you find out what they've done and their expertise in the community and how open and available they are to talk to you. Yeah?
I agree with you. I had wonderful conversations. I had a great time. I did a scene with a wonderful, you know, young lady that I know that's been to my classes, and we ended up scening, and then all of a sudden I was like, this doesn't feel right. I'm not supposed to be scening with you, but I am supposed to be doing a chakra healing on you. So I did a chakra healing on her in a dungeon. And then I channeled her grandmother. I was like, hello, Grandma, what are you doing in a dungeon?
Well, that's great. But see, the other thing is that you're self-aware enough that you listen to your heart.
Yes.
I think that's really, really important. Isn't that something we have to give? Is simply what really matters is connecting and having that energy go around and having that person. I always want that person to have more energy and be in a better space than when I got there. No matter what my play is, whether my play is going to be doing camming, I do camming, you know, for a job, or I do my pro-submissive work, or if I'm playing for my personal interest. Absolutely.
Will you ever retire?
You know, I had no idea, you know, that I'm about to turn 59. And I had no idea that I would ever, no, I feel great. I think I look hot. I'm not retiring. You know, fuck that. As long as I can make a difference and have fun and serve a purpose, I see no reason to retire. I light up my light to do camming, and I definitely make more than I would flipping burgers. And so as long as I can do that, I would rather do webcamming, absolutely.
Are you making more money than you were when you were doing children's parties?
Oh, yes. Isn't that amazing? I make more money doing so I do a lot of things. I have the clips that I've done, the fetish modeling, camming, pro-submissive work, and I'm going to plug it now. I have a book you can buy on Amazon.
Oh, wow. Let me do a camera shot on that. Do that again. Hold on a second. Okay, wow. Lower it down just a little bit so there's no light on it. Wow, congratulations.
I remember how I told you that there was a photo shoot I did that was the start. The photo on the cover is one of those photos.
Is that Ken Marcus's photo?
Yes.
Wow. Congratulations. And Tim, you can get on.
One of my best friends, and so it's so great that we've grown a lot over the last 7 years too. But I'm very proud of my book. You'll find it. It's Pony Play with subMissAnn, and it's the 2nd edition. And I think it's $28 retail, but Amazon always has it for less. So, yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
I adore Ken. Ken is you always know it's Ken's work in his photographs. There's always this crispness and this crispness and this clarity. He was on my show about a few months back, and we did it through webcam also, and we didn't show any photographs because most of his photographs are nude. So all we did was talk about how he got started, and when we talk about documenting the history of BDSM or of our life choice, we have 12 years of documentation on TSR Network. And there are times that I think about retiring and leaving the community and walking away. I mean, many times I just go, you know what? I mean, I had 3.5 years of a vanilla life, 3.5 years in the vanilla world, and it wasn't that bad, And could I do it? My daughter's getting married, and I'm going to be the mother of the bride. She's bought me this $900 dress to wear to her wedding because she wants her mom to look. So she gave me a couple pounds for the dress today. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's not black. It's a navy blue, and damn it, I'm going to lose. So it will look absolutely tremendous, and so when I'm 95 years old or 100 years old or 130, then I'm going to be able to look at that photograph without any teeth and go, wow, I was one hot motherfucker.
Absolutely. Well, that's the other thing too, is I think women do not have a shelf life. As long as you're active, your big sex organ sits in here. And as long as you're active and the light bulb is going up there, you're sexy. It isn't. Not only 18-year-olds are sexy. Women. That was the whole thing too. Doing porn at 50, I was a MILF. I was a GILF. And that men, bless their hearts, don't always just want a young body. They appreciate women of all ages too. For every Jack, there's a Jill, and they like them in all shapes and sizes. So yay! I actually
last
night I was watching.
What? I said I have so many young men that pursue me on collar days that used to be collar me, and I do a certain cutoff at the age because I've been there. I've been with young men, and I think I want someone to grow old with. Not old as like an old person, someone to have companionship, someone that I could, when I get older, I would go with someone maybe about 10 years younger than me. So, or, all right,
I
15.
Think highly dependent.
20. You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
I can't hear you either. There's a documentary on these older ladies in England, and one of them, the lady that was a choreographer for Cats, so she's a famous choreographer, and when she was 50, she met a man. He was 25. Yeah, so there's 25-year age difference. And he's been with her, so she's now 95. And what is he, 65, something like that?
Still with her?
Yeah, all these years. Very, very happily.
Wow.
And so you just never know. I think that I believe in true love. I believe in people that have interests, activities, connection, great sex. It's ageless. It doesn't matter, how old you are, how old they are. I'd be open to the possibilities, but yeah, I guess there's always that thing that there's a certain group of people that we all knew where we were when J.F. Kennedy died.
Oh, yeah.
And,
6th grade.
And,
6th grade. I can still recite you, at 6 o'clock. No, I can still recite. 6 white horses came today to take my daddy far away. Hello, I can't even remember yesterday, and I can still remember that.
Yeah, it was a distinguished moment for me. Usually, I want to go out with people that know that moment, only because I think there's a certain amount of shared history that makes it easier to communicate. But I'd be, I'm open to the fact that other people that they may not need that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've seen so many changes in BDSM. We had a show last week about how will 50 Shades the movie affect BDSM, and I really don't think it's going to. I think we're going to have an influx of people coming in, just like we did when the book was released. We talked about story of O, Exit to Eden. I mean, the secretary, 9.5 weeks. Nothing's really changed. We still do BDSM the way that we like to do it. We have so many people that are coming in, and I'm starting to realize that I'm one of the elders, and I'm 62, and so I'm older, and I'm thinking,
right.
maybe it's time I settle down, find a nice man, and get married.
I don't know. I mean, Mel, if you want to, but for me, the thing is that I like being single. I like having my own place. I like not having to ask somebody else permission, or when you are with someone and you're living with them and you're committed to them and you're like married, you all of a sudden you have to consider what they want to do, and how much of that do you want?
But how old were you when you got a divorce?
Let's see. I was like 31.
I was 23 when I got a divorce. And I've never been remarried. I've lived with one person in all these years. And I'm kind of at the place now where, I mean, see, it's Ask Ann. Ask subMissAnn. She's going to help me. Help me.
Thing, if you want to have a relationship and have someone be with you as a choice, that's great. As a last resort, not so much.
Yeah, I've never been the last resort, because I understand. I've lived alone for a long time, and it's been the only reason that I would want somebody in my life is for companionship, or to have a friend, to have someone to go hang out with and go to a movie with, and but to have passion. You got to have the chemistry, and if he comes or she comes, if it ever comes, it would be great. And if it never comes, I'm not going to be disappointed in life. I've made a wrong choice, as you know.
I remember. Here's the thing, Mel, and as I think that it comes down in life, is that you have to realize what you have control over and what you don't. What you do have control over is you moving forward, planting your own garden, you having goals and keeping them, whether you give your word and whether you keep it or not, those things you have control of. You do not have control of whether somebody else loves you or not. You do have control over whether you are interesting. Whether you have hobbies that you are passionate about, whether you fully expand and do that. And what happened to ever loving yourself and being your own best friend? I think that's about the point that you're like so happy being your own best friend and hanging out with yourself. All of a sudden, all these people show up and don't let you be alone because you're interesting and they want to hang out with you. I'll
tell you a funny story. So I had to call an attorney for something, and it's about BDSM thing. So I had to call this attorney this week, or Friday, and I'm talking to her, and I'm telling her the story, and this is what I'm hearing from her. Oh my God, I got to meet you. You are so fascinating. You are so interesting. Oh my God, you're what, 62 years old? You're doing what? I've got to, and I was so impressed with her. I was impressed with her because she wanted to meet me. It was hysterical. I mean, she made my night. It was hysterical. Hysterical. I mean, okay, I'm going to answer this question. Are we really any different than anybody else? I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I'll tell you how we are different, Mel. We are different in that we have things to talk about. Do you know that some people go to work and what they talk about is maybe what they did at work and the people at work. And that's all they've got to talk about, okay? Now, the other thing that you can talk about a level higher is that you can talk about, so you can talk about people, you can talk about current events, things that you've done. Now, a more interesting level is when you start talking about concepts and how to create something and how to take something out of nothing and move it forward. And both you and I have done that. Both you and I look at abstracts. You know, you can do that. And I think that that's what makes people interesting, you know, and having continued interests. I took my brother to a sci-fi convention last, Memorial weekend, and I'm going with Maddox to the Salt Lake City sci-fi convention, and so I have two outfits. One is Catwoman, and it'll be like the Anne Hathaway, you know, because I've got the rubber cat suits, and so I the utility belt and the mask, but Mara Jade is the other character that I wanted to. So all of a sudden I'm like going back and I'm reading the magazine, the comic books, you know, to find out more about her and all the different pictures and the different looks. The thing about Mara Jade is that every artist drew her differently. But I guess that's it, is that, you know, finding things that interest you and wrapping your passion around it and investigating it and researching it and doing those things and then being able to talk about it and share about it, that's interesting. That's so much better than, did you see Joe and what he did to Cheryl last night? Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, it's a much more interesting.
For three years I was in the vanilla world, and I had no conversations, none. It was so frickin' boring. I mean, I would have to be with someone that has, you know, they got to think out of the box. Does that make sense? They've got to think not just one way. They've got to be able to think out of the box, because that's what I do. And I don't, you know, I don't have a lot of prejudice toward people or toward communities or any of these things. I'm pretty neutral in my thoughts about everything. You know, I mean, you know, I mean, they can't be limited. And it's very difficult to find someone, you know, in our age bracket range that isn't limited. Because they all want to stay home and watch TV and put their feet up. I can't do that.
Well, the other thing, Mel, is to look at that. I don't know if one person can meet all of your needs. You know, maybe you're going to need to find someone that you have great sex with, and you have someone else that is a good friend. I don't know. Maybe one person can't be everything.
You know, I haven't been laid in 4.5 years.
You don't want to say that.
I mean, you know, when I was younger, I tell them I haven't been laid in a long time. Like I was laid like 2 weeks prior to it. That was a long time. Now it's like I haven't been laid in a long time, and I'm telling the truth.
Mel. Well, it's been hours since I had sex.
Go ahead. Rub it. Let me get the knife. Let me stab myself. Ooh.
No. You know, whether you've had sex with somebody else, I hope that you still are coming and enjoying and playing with your body, because, Mel, one of the things about coming is that when you come,
you're breaking up.
You're
breaking up. It might be the connection that you have. You might be talking about the fact, do I masturbate, right?
Uh, when you masturbate, it lights up all the centers in your brain. And so it's like an electrical shock to your brain when you come. And it's really, really good for you. You should come, regularly. The difference between having sex with a random person and someone you love is that it's the only time that the memory center lights up in your brain and you make a memory. And where I got this from is TED.com. You know that channel that you can go to on the internet that has all those researchers and scientific,
I love TED.
Yeah, I love TED too. Absolutely. Well, Mel, now we've gone full circle here.
And you know what? I think you've made me horny, and I think I need to go and masturbate now.
I think we should. This is a good place to go excuse ourselves, to go do some serious thinking in our bunk.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think I need to go show myself love. See, I was going to ask you if you could give any advice at the end of the show, but you've already given such incredible advice, and I'm going to adhere to it. And I'm going to go and pleasure myself, and I will send a selfie to you. No, I'm just joking.
I love you, Mel.
Yeah, I think you're
very, very much. I love you so very, very.
So, Miss Ann, I love you so much. And tell everybody, what is your website so people can go to it?
My website is Ask subMissAnn. My pony book is called Pony Play with subMissAnn. And I appreciate your support very, very much. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. You're always an amazing guest. I always want you back. I always want to know what you're doing. I never want to, you're the type of friend that if we don't see each other for a year, 2 years, a month, whatever, it's like time never stopped. We'll always be friends for life. And I love you a lot. And it's an honor to have you on my show. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. And I'm going to take a hold of the camera because I am a controlling bitch. So I want to thank you all for watching the Rev Mel Show.
Thank you so much.
She's talking. I'm going to mute her. Watch. Let me mute her. Here we go. I'm going to mute her. There we go. Okay, I just muted her. So I want to thank you all for watching the Rev Mel Show on TSRnetwork.com, where real people talk about real sex with really kinky people. And you know what? Keep it real. I don't even know what I'm saying. I think the alcohol has hit me. So I'm going to go do the nasty. Bye-bye.